Hello everyone, welcome back to Genie Signatures. So today we are going to be making a princess that bustier top with peplum. So that is what we are going to be doing today. So I have already have my fabric folded, and the way you get to know what you fold is just to divide your bust by 4, and then you add for 3 to 5 inches depending on what you want or how much fabric you have. But in my case, I added 4 inches to the bust measurements divided by 4. So that is what I have on fold. And I had gone ahead to rule out the bust point, the under the bust, and the half length and the allowance. And I've equally marked my armhole. From the bust measurement, I went up by 2 inches to get my chest line. So now, so that it will be faster, because I don't want the video to be long. So what I'm doing now is that I'm marking my neck width and my neck depth. For my neck width, I used 3.5 inches, and for my neck depth, I used 6 inches. So that is what I'm connecting right about now. And the next thing I'm going to do is to go for my shoulder slope. I'm going down by 1 inches. 1 inch, sorry. You're going to go kill us. So I'm connecting that to my neck width. That is my shoulder slope, shoulder slant. So the next thing I'm going to do is to get the midpoint of my armhole so that I'll be able to curve my armhole. And from that midpoint, I'm going to come in by 1/2 inch so that I'll connect the front armhole. The back armhole is not like this. The back armhole, you don't need to do all the ceremonies. You see it when I do it. So that is me connecting the armhole. And that's it. So the next thing we are going to do is to get nipple to nipple or bust span measurement. For my clients, her bust span is 7 inches, so I'm marking 3.5 on the bust point. Then I'll mark 3 inches under the bust and 3 inches under the waistline. Then I'll connect. Note, on the bust point I marked 3.5 inches, but under the bust and on the waistline I marked 3 inches respectively. Then I connected. So I'll come to the armhole and then I'll come down depending on how you want it. You can come back by 4 inches, 3 inches, 4.5 inches, depending on how curvy you want that place to be. But for mine, I came down by 4 inches. So I'm going to connect it to the bust point so that we'll get our middle piece. That is what I'm connecting. You make sure that that place is not pointed. Just use your hand to make it smooth. And then on the under bust, that is on your right hand side, you go out by 2 inches. Some people go by 1.5 or 2.5 depending on how you want your dart to be. But for me, I'm going out by 2 inches. I'm going to connect that 2 inches from under the bust. Note, not on the bust point, under the bust and on the waistline. And then I'm going to make a curvy mark to the bust points, just like you see me doing. You just curve it to meet that 2 inches that you marked for under the bust. And then on that same armhole where I came down by 4 inches for my bust connection, I'm going to come down by 1.5 or 2 inches depending on how you want it from that armhole. And then you use your pattern master and then you connect it like so to meet that curvy part that you marked to go and meet the under bust, and that will be on the bust point. From that you can see that our cup is already showing. Then that 2 inches, because sometimes when we are sewing these clothes, you discover that when you are joining it, it will be shorter than that middle part. So in order to avoid stories that touch the heart, so to speak, we need to come up by 2 inches. You extend the line by 2 inches that you used for that thing, so that you get your fabric will not be short. And then you carve out a new armhole for that. I don't know whether you are getting me, but when you watch the video you understand what I'm saying. Then we are going to divide our bust into 4. We'll mark, and then you add the sewing allowances you want. For mine, I added 2.5 inches. Then on the waistline, you mark your waist divided by 4. Whatever you get, you mark it. Then you add back that 2 inches that you used as your dart. Remember, we used 2 inches for the dart. Then you add it back, and then you add 2.5 inches for sewing allowance. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. Then you add your sewing allowance, and then you connect. It's very easy and it's always beautiful. Instead of using the normal dart, when you do this, it gives your cloth volume and it always comes out beautiful. So I'm going to be cutting out. I'm cutting out the neckline first, and then I'm cutting off the shoulder slope or shoulder slant, and then I go ahead to cut out the middle piece. You can see the way I'm cutting it. Cut it out like so. You cut out the middle point. You can see that it's already very beautiful. And then you cut out from the sides. Just take your time. It's better you have excess fabric that you didn't use than for you at the end of the day after cutting it you discovered that the clothes was not enough. So it's always good to be on the safer side. Though if your client's clothes is not that much, please be very careful so that you won't run into problem. By this time I had already cut out the skirts, but I didn't know that I was not videoing it. It was at the end of the day that I discovered that it did not record anything. So that's why I cannot make a tutorial for the skirt. But subsequently, I'll make a video for a skirt tutorial. Skirt with the front slits. Yeah. So that is the middle piece, and these ones will be by the sides. So that is the princess dart bustier. And please don't forget to notch that middle piece to indicate your under bust, because when you are joining, everything has to align very well. That is what I'm doing there. Don't forget to notch. Thank you. So that is it. So let's go back to the back cutting. I've already cut out just this, but I'm going to be adjusting it to what I need because it's too big for the back. So I just want to get the same length I did for the front, that is the half cut or half length, plus 2 inches sewing allowance or 1 inch as you want. So that is what I'm trying to mark out there. So I'm going to cut it out so that I'll have exactly what I need for this. So the first thing I'm going to be doing now is to get my zip allowance, and I'm going to be marking 1.5 inches for my zip allowance. You can go for 2 inches if you want, but I'm used to using 1.5 inches. This is my baby, don't mind that. Waka waka. So usually that's the zip allowance. So I'm going to be inputting my I just want to put it there as a guideline. That's my bust line, so that I will know where the chest line is, so that I'll be able to get out the armhole. I'm just marking those out. They are really not necessary, but in order for me to actually get what I'm doing, that's why I'm doing all that. I'm just marking it out. It's not needed, so that I'll know my chest line in order to be able to carve out the armhole line. So now I'm dividing my shoulder by 2. I'm marking as appropriate. And then the armhole. So I'm going to connect that straight. Okay. So the neck width will still be the same thing, that is 3.5 inches. But the neck depth will not be as deep as that of the front. For the back, I'm going to be coming down by 2 inches. So I connect. And then for my shoulder slope, I'm going to be marking 1 inch. And then I'll connect. Then I'm going to be getting the midpoint of my armhole. Remember, for the front we have to come in by 1/2 inch, but for the back it's not necessary. So I just want to get my bust measurements divided by 4 plus sewing allowance before I'll carve out the armhole. Two and a half inches, and then you connect it. Then I'm going to be marking out my waist measurement too. Please remember that when marking all these lines like that, my bust measurement, you need to mark from that zipper allowance line. Don't mark across it. That line that I wrote for the zipper, that is where you start placing your tape from. Don't place beyond that, because you won't get it right. So you place on that line that I marked, you can see it. So I'm trying to get my dart first. My dart is my nipple to nipple, my bust span divided by 2, 3.5, and I went up to the bust point. Then you mark 1/2 inch on both sides. Then you connect it. Make sure you don't really go up to the bust point. You can, before 1 inch before your bust point will be appropriate for your bust. At the back, your dart, for the dart. You mark like so. Make sure it's 1 inch before your bust measurements. So that's the dart. And so now I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4. You add back that 1 inch you used for that, and then 2.5 inches sewing allowance. And then you connect. See that it's very, very easy. It is very, very easy. So we'll cut it out. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. Cutting out the armhole. Cut out the neckline. You notch the dart allowance. You cut into two. Sorry, yeah, I forgot to slant this shoulder slope. I later did it. I can see that I didn't do it here. Pardon me. But I did it off camera. So what I'm trying to do here now is to how to make the back of the dress not to be bulgy. No, we don't have bust at the back, so I'm going to cut. I just marked half an inch by that waistline and just slanted it right up. That is from the zipper allowance to avoid bulginess at the back when you fix your zip. And then on the same waistline, I'm going to be coming up by half inch again, and then I'll slant it into that dart. When you do this, it makes the clothes lay flat on your back. It will never be bulgy. Unlike those ones we see that are always bulgy, this will not. Then you notch your zip allowance. I'll cut off the shoulder slants, I think, later. I didn't do it here, but I did it later. I noticed that after. So that is the back piece and this is the front piece. So I'm going to be showing you how it looks like after I've sewn it. Sorry, I can't show you the sewing process because it will be too lengthy. So I'm going to show you how it looks after this time out. Thank you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you, and watch out for more interesting tutorials on these teenage signatures. Thank you.